Greetings, fellow mayors. This is Captain Obvious, and welcome back to the Masterclass series for new and veteran players to help improve their city building and city management skills. And we have returned to Hanami Bay and just check out how much more developed she is. So, in the previous episode, what we did was we started filling in this side of the map. We started occupying the island here and created our own just to make our bay much more interesting. So it has water features like docks, these boat hotels, and finally on our shoreline, I've added these ocean resort buildings from the hotels and retreats DLC. And now our next step is how do you fill in this area? Because there are some puzzles that you need to solve. For example, this requires a entertainment or a unique building, and it also requires shopping. So what type of uh, commercial zoning should we choose to add here? And the other thing is how are vehicles going to enter this area and transportation. And last but not least, we want to add some movement on the water because things moving around definitely makes it more interesting. With that said, let's go ahead and start. First, let's start occupying this side of the map. Okay, so first thing that I did was extended these roads because if you use this, you'll notice that this road right here is extremely short and that will create traffic. So you should avoid that at all costs. And now we are going to determine what type of unique or entertainment building to place in. So I'm going to look for so we are going to be utilizing these structures. They are from the seaside resorts. So it is a perfect building to place in. And I'm going to go to the bottom options which have the most entertainment. For instance, this requires 150 entertainment. So I'm going to put her exactly there. That's one. And then we have another one here which has also 150 entertainment. I'm going to place this one here. And let's check. Well, right now it's 0 because there is no electricity. So if I add in electricity, it should function. And let's wait. Times 3 speed. There you go. It is now operating and still requires a few more. This one is fully maxed. So it must be the size or the placement. Let's go ahead and add a few more buildings here then. I am going to go ahead and flatten this as much as possible all the way to the corner. Don't worry, we're going to figure out a way to make this more acceptable, this area here. And let's find another structure that is a little smaller. And there you go, it hits the 50 mark. And it is also green. And let's close this up. And this end is also completed. Now it's a matter of this one on this end. So there are other structures here that I have not used. For instance, this one. So this one is actually a water related building. So if I place it right here in the middle, and then we're gonna use move it mod just to scoot it ever so slightly. Let's put it around in the middle. And if we look at them, it is instantly 150. So that solves that issue. And we also need to add something here. So on this end, this does not require a building because this is not part of the hotels and retreats. So the last building is on this end. So again, you want to avoid this. So I'm going to delete that immediately. And I just need another structure here and we should be pretty good. Okay, it requires at least one more building. And there we are. It is 150. That is absolutely perfect. And so now the next thing that we need to figure out is how will vehicles uh, get into this area. All right, and other than that is also the commercial. So I am going to continue this key line that we have, and we are going to make it all the way across here, and then we're going to create roads that go downward. Okay, so we have our key walls in place. However, there is no actual road to go up. So how do we create roads that make it look convincing and appropriate? So from here, I'm going to create a little slit. Let's see. We will, and also notice how where I place the key walls is like about on the edge of from the soil to I mean the sand to the soil. So if I'm going to cut this, let's cut this a little bit here, maybe. Okay, it'll probably be a lot easier if I placed in the road first. So I'm gonna place the road, let's see, from up here. It's just going to go directly down, then go into this direction. Let's make sure this is grounded. And then here, I will make this go on this side. And then this will simply connect here. And then this will go upward. So this should be, let's see. There we go. This should be the right height. And we are just going to fix the slope here. Make it a little smaller. And from the bottom, clean this corner up. And this is our first road, and it will connect. You know, this is very, very inviting on this side. However, it's not exactly straight. So I'm gonna make some adjustments just so that this will become straight. Okay, so this is one, and we will need to create other several ways to lower down. So I am going to create, the reason why I made it on this end is I didn't want to connect here. I needed to have something from this side. So this seems too close. See this intersection? So this might be the right road over here. Yep, and then this is enough space. It's actually perfect. Then we can have a building here. Okay, so that's good. This side is good. Now we have to make one. We could probably make one here, and then one there, and finally here. So let's see. We need to chop this one. So I am looking at a road here. I don't want to make a four-way, so we're gonna create a road from this end, and it will be going downward. Let's see, from here. Unfortunately, this is not perfect. I want this to be absolutely clean, so let's try to make it up to. Okay, next is over here. Again, I'm just going to scoot this a little further. I can actually use this one to make it go downward. Okay, there we are. Now all we have to do is just get creative on how these things down here will connect. Let's go ahead and start connecting these guys. Oh, also, by the way, since we're here, we're also going to start considering movement in the water. So I'm going to place in the ferry piers. So I'm gonna place one over here. Let's make this go as far as possible. And this will also require a dock. Okay, before we develop this site, let's go ahead and start adding in our commercial buildings. So for the commercial, it's going to be a specific type. So first, let's zone this area. So right now you can see it is operating. You can see vehicles moving down. There's not that much traffic for the meantime, but as soon as we add in our commercial, it's going to start to build up. Oh, I forgot to turn this on. Yeah, it's actually okay. The city is now collapsing. I had this off where it kind of hides all the alerts, but you should never keep that on because you don't know that your whole city is collapsing and it's like abandoning. So this, we're going to change this into African in miniature. So with this, the buildings that we'll construct for the low density will have little huts, and those is going to be the 4x4 or the 4x3. So I'm going to zone only those types. For instance, on this end, so I'm gonna try to zone the other types. For example, a 2x2, a 3x4, and a okay, I will leave this one. So these are the type of buildings that I'm looking forward to. So these have these huts or these little straw umbrellas, and it really matches the the beachside vibe basically. So I'm going to zone this majority of the time, right? It's gonna be filled with that, and the other spaces I will zone or we're gonna use something else entirely. So for instance, this one, right? It's a completely different building. I don't think this matches. So that is why I'm not gonna be using these. So I'm going to dezone this, and we are just going to stick with the 4x4. And on this end, let's see if we can find another unique building. I'm gonna go for this one. The mothership. Oh no, she doesn't fit. The mothership is too big. Let's see. Oh, actually, it's fine. It's just we can just move it ever so slightly. Okay, that's because it has these palm trees, I believe. Yep, they're built in, so it matches the building. And I also happen to just watch Final Destination Bloodlines, and this reminds me of the Sky Sky Cafe or whatever it was called in the movie. Okay, let's take a closer look. So this one is max, that one is max. This one is in development, and let's fix the terrain. Then for other areas that we can't put a 4x4, we are simply just going to find other buildings. So for instance, if we go back to this one, so we started utilizing these, we can just simply add more and just find an appropriate spot for them, and it should work. All right, let me go ahead and add in the roads for this end. And of course, we're going to require the final route. So I will place it on this end. And we're just going to simply connect these roads together. And I can go ahead and start making it operational. So let's go ahead and add in the pathways. Okay, it is now operational, and the only thing that we need now is just to change the boat type. Let's see what's more appropriate here. Go for this one. Okay, well, that's underway. So as you can see, we have these buildings. It's becoming, or it's starting to look redundant, but that's okay. There are ways to remedy this. Yeah, that is a lot of the same buildings. We're not gonna lie, that is definitely redundant, but nevertheless, it is unfortunately the right call. Let's mix in some high density then. Then wherever I can, oh, we got another building here that I haven't utilized. Let's see where I can squeeze this into. Maybe here. So other than these buildings, there's also these types. So this will fit perfectly on this end. Okay. This thing almost looks like it spelled something. This doesn't look like another letter that would spell something inappropriate. Okay, other than that, the only other thing that we are missing is transportation. So this side, I'm gonna create another one here, but I'm going to unlock this. So for now, I will not occupy that space. Let's see, let's add in bus routes. So I'm going to open the taxi. I can't believe I haven't utilized this from the beginning. Let's put a taxi depot somewhere. We can put it on this end. Then we're gonna use the taxi stops as our bus station. So let's see. Okay, there we are. Taxi depots, and then for the areas in between, we are just gonna add in some pathways and plant some trees, and that should hopefully work. Okay, let's start adding in a few of those trees. So I'm gonna go with the coconut tree, and we're just gonna put it right next to our pathways. Okay, let's take a look at our coastline. Take a closer look. Where are our ships? Oh, there they are. There's our ferry. That's excellent. Not a lot of passengers. You don't want like too many in there. So there are still some holes in the areas, but overall, we take a closer look. Yep, I like these umbrellas definitely, and then the mixture of these Victorian hotels works. This one is kind of out of place, but that is fine. Yep, yep, this definitely works. So that is what our beachfront looks like. We have some empty spaces here. Um, and just to add a little more variety, so you notice these are very, very prominent, but yet when you look closer, like you can't argue that they really do fit with the theme, right? Especially on the beach side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to zone in some low density commercial. So low density commercial are usually wooden houses. So hopefully it will blend in nicely. We will basically find out if it does. I think I'm forced to fill in this side. So let me see. Maybe I'll make it on this end. So I'll just create a road here. For this end, I'm going to try to be using some of the Japanese assets. Oh, that is huge. Amazing. I used up all the hotels and resorts buildings. This is the first time I've done that. And I think I know exactly where to put it here. This is definitely the perfect spot for it. So if you zoom out, okay, it looks pretty nice. We have vehicles going in. Let's activate our transportation. So let's go for buses. Let's create a route. So we're going to use the taxi stops as our bus routes. Okay, we're going to have to make adjustments. Make sure it's right in front. And I think that's all of them. The only thing that I haven't done was actually change the bus type. So let's take a closer look. So it should be the last one. Yep, this is the one. And we're gonna change it to, let's see, a double-decker bus. Why not? Okay, and let me just add our pathways to this end, and we could close this chapter. Okay, let's take a closer look at the houses. Let's see if it blends in. Yeah, that works. Yeah, as long as it's wooden. This one's a little out of place, but as long as there's not too many of them, I suppose uh, it will be acceptable. Okay, I think this is functioning properly. We could probably use a few more of these. Wow, only 2 people riding. That is not a lot of people. Okay, let's find a smaller ferry then. This one, and then we'll just add 4. Even though it's not optimized, I just want more things moving around here. Overall, this is how I create uh, my beachfront. So we got coconut trees, we got the commercial buildings with these umbrella huts and whatnot. We also got the what are these called? Ocean resorts. We got some more water features over here. We got some movement in the water. And we have a way to move up and down. Then all I need to do is just zone this end, and we can fill this in quite easily, right? But overall, this is what we have accomplished for today.